Hello, I'm Lucy Aphramor. I'm a dietitian. What I wanted from today's event was to share an approach that I'm really passionate about. It's an approach to food, eating, bodies, health that looks at how to bridge self-care and social justice. I was really keen to come and support the Coventry Peace Festival. I've no idea if it's increasing, but what I do know is that it's prevalent, and I think any body shaming is too much. The work that I do looks at the deep roots of shame and oppression, helps people start conversations so they think differently about themselves and also differently about how we treat each other. I think that comes from disconnect and judgment, learning to be more compassionate with ourselves and more compassionate with others, and within that looking at the reality of people's lives, the reality of racism, of homophobia, of austerity, of stereotype, of prejudice, and the links between the. If we want a healthy world, the best way is to build a fair world, and the way that we do that is by recognising everybody's humanity and figuring out how we can do things differently. We do need more support. We need support for the people who are supporting others as well. Inadvertently, some of the support that is offered actually ends up becoming part of the problem. If we're taught within a framework that can't make sense of oppression, and that if people are using food to help themselves cope with really difficult circumstances, then we need to change the approach to move on from one way of thinking, this is healthy, this is unhealthy, and looks towards another way of thinking and thinking around food and bodies and health that is relational. Shame and prejudice become a problem that have their roots in a particular way of thinking. We can see how thinking in the UK changed with Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher had this idea there was no such thing as society, and over time the culture changed as if that was true. So I think the problem is rife because we have a current vocabulary that talks about scroungers, that seeks to take welfare away from people, that treats the world as if it's a level playing field and disappears trauma, disappears oppression, just disappears bad luck, and makes it look as if though if everybody just tries harder and adds a bit of willpower, then they too can get on and have the secure job and the regular food supply and walk down the street safe and free of crime. And it's just not the case. Look at Grenfell Towers. You know, sending people to self-esteem classes is not going to tackle that sort of problem. That it's about another way of thinking that puts our humanity, our people's equal worth at the heart of it, and that has a vision and a strategy for putting that into action in our lives and other people's lives.